What's up, you guys? If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Merino, but you can call me Mac Daddy. And today's video is going to be a very long overdue life update video. I'm actually sitting in my brand new apartment. I know a lot of you guys are wondering where I moved to, and we're going to get into that a little later in the video. But I just really wanted to just kind of take the time to make this video and just share with you guys a lot of things that I have just been kind of like going through. It's been a crazy year, and the last time that I did a life update video was like a year ago, and a lot has happened since then. And I want to start off by saying that I know that there is a lot of craziness and madness going on in the world, and I'm not oblivious to it. And I know that probably a lot of the things I'm going to talk about might sound like first world problems in the sense of like, you know, compared to other things, like it's not that deep. But I did want to share this with you guys because I know that there's a lot of you guys that have been following me for quite some time. You know, I've been doing this social media thing and sharing my life here on social media for almost 10 years. And I think that there's a lot of you guys that have seen a lot of change, a lot of growth, and I also know that there's probably a lot of you guys that can relate to a lot of the things that I'm going through right now. So I just really wanted to make it a point to share this with you guys, to hopefully help you guys out in your process and your journey, and kind of share a little bit about my journey and kind of what I've been going through and kind of just where I'm at. I'm going to do my best to open up and keep it real with you guys. So I kind of want to start with the beginning of 2022 because I feel like it's been a little bit of a roller coaster since then, that has led me to this move and just everything that I have going on currently and the way that I'm feeling currently. But you know, as you guys know, I've been on my health and fitness journey for quite some time now. I always say most of my adult life I have gone in and out of, you know, losing weight and gaining weight and having trainers and not having trainers and dieting and not dieting. And this last time around, and it's been about a year and a half that I've been working with my trainer. Shout out to Buddy Boy Marky. This last time around, I feel like it's the time that it really stuck, and that it really felt like, okay, it's not just gonna be a temporary diet that I'm gonna break in a few months. This is really gonna be a lifestyle that I want to sustain. And I think the biggest thing that I did differently this time around was doing it in a way where it was manageable for me, and taking baby steps into making this a lifestyle. You know, I think a lot of people just kind of go into these things cold turkey with like crazy diets or, you know, really crazy exercise plans, and it's not always manageable. So I feel like this time around what really did it was doing it in a way where I felt it was going to be sustainable. And you know, it's been a journey, it's been a process, a lot of ups and downs. In the process, I lost a pretty significant amount of weight. I think at one point I had lost a total of like close to 90 pounds. And that was all kind of happening at the end of 2021 going into 2022. And you know, I was feeling really great about myself. I was feeling really confident, and I really wanted to make it a point to take control of that part of my life because I felt like it was affecting my work in a lot of different ways. I felt like I was having a hard time, you know, doing my job. You know, my job is to talk to you guys, share my life with you guys, be on camera, and I was finding myself in a lot of situations where like I would film things or I would like take photos and, you know, be on Instagram stories and stuff like that, and I just was really unhappy with what I was seeing. And it got to the point where I was kind of like, okay, I need to take control of this, and I need to get to a better place because it's starting to affect my work. And I really feel like I did a good job at doing that, specifically towards, like I said, the middle and end of 2021. Going into 2022, I was feeling really great about, you know, my progress and, you know, feeling super motivated. And I met someone. I don't really like to talk about my personal dating life. If you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that there was just one other instance that I was super open about, and this was back in like 2017. Posted all over the gram, and that relationship just really put me through a lot, and it ended really bad. And not only did it end bad, but it was kind of like all of the snowball effects that it had from me sharing it on social media. So it was kind of like that one thing that really kind of was like a learning curve for me to, you know, be a little private with certain things. And I feel like we all go through it with relationships, you know. I feel like it's kind of a natural human thing that we try to find a partner, and that we want to be in love and that we want all these things. And I met someone at the top of 2022, and I told myself, and it was super unexpected. I was not looking for anything. It just kind of happened. And I told myself going into that situation that I wasn't going to do things the way that I had done before. I was going to put myself first, and I wasn't going to put aside or put off certain things that I know that I needed to do, whether it was things for work or working out or just things for myself, to make time for someone else. I kind of told myself, like, you know, if they kind of just flow into your lifestyle, then great. If not, I shouldn't feel like I need to move mountains to make this work. And I was finding myself kind of falling into those habits again of, you know, putting aside certain things, putting aside work, putting aside my health and fitness, and just putting a lot of me to the side because I was trying to explore something with somebody. And there were a lot of red flags, and I guess I just was trying to see how red the flags could get. It ended, and I felt like all of the things that I was working towards and everything that I was trying to do to get myself to this place of, you know, self-love and just all of my goals, it kind of felt like they kind of had a brief pause almost. And then once all was said and done and the relationship didn't work, I was kind of left with like feeling like I had taken like 5 steps back. And I am really hard on myself when it comes to that, because I told myself that I was not going to do that anymore. And I found myself doing that again and kind of going back to those old habits. So what did I do? I booked a trip to Miami. And it's so interesting because Miami has always been one of those places that I just feel like a connection to. Like, I can't explain it. I think it has a lot to do with the culture, the people, the energy. It's always been a place that I have felt like I just vibrate so much higher. Like I thrive, I'm in my element, I'm inspired. I can't explain it. I just have this affinity for Miami. And I was in Miami with a friend for a few weeks, and it was kind of a little bit of a snowball effect in the sense of just a lot of partying, a lot of drinking. You guys know I love to have fun and I love to party, and there's nothing wrong with that. But now that I'm in my 30s, it hits way different. And I also understand that like it can be excessive. And I feel like I'm still working towards trying to find the balance of like, okay, I'm having fun and I'm letting my hair down. But then when it kind of starts to affect work or just other things, you know, I have to pull back, and I'm still trying to find that balance. But I found myself kind of falling into those habits again of just things being excessive. And I came back home. I was just kind of disappointed in myself. Like, okay, why did you do this? Like now, you know, as far as like your progress goes with your health and fitness, you're taking like steps backwards. And it was just kind of like a situation where I was just really just not in a good place mentally. And I think because my weight has fluctuated for so long, I still kind of have that trauma of being overweight and everything that comes with it, and the way that you feel and all of the above, right? So right before my birthday, like a couple of months before my birthday, I had to kind of just like snap myself out of it, and I was able to really kind of like pull myself out of feeling that way. And I was like, okay, you know, maybe it was a little bit of a setback, but we're gonna bounce back. And I gave myself 10 weeks where I told myself I wasn't going to drink any alcohol. I was gonna really be committed to my health and fitness. I was working out every single day. I was working out twice a day, like 4 days out of the week. I was eating super clean, and I was really truly able to move the mark. And I saw how much I was able to move the mark within those 10 weeks. And right before my birthday, I really didn't know what I wanted to do this year. I kind of like last minute decided like, I want to go to my favorite city. So I booked a trip to Miami, literally went by myself, didn't really tell anyone. Right before I left on my trip, I parted ways with my management. Being someone like myself that like, you know, I run my own business, I have my own brand, you know, that takes a huge part of my time, and having management has really helped me and enabled me to still continue to be the influencer and work with brands. At this point was starting to feel a little kind of like I wasn't really sure where I fit in the social landscape anymore. I think a lot of you guys have noticed a difference in my content because a lot of you guys have mentioned it, or, you know, I know that it's a little bit obvious. Like if you scroll like on like my platforms, like I think you guys can see like a shift that has happened. And a big part of that shift has just been, you know, I think at the beginning of my career, before all of this, I'm talking about like 2013, 14, 15, 16, I relied really heavily on makeup and beauty to give me confidence that I was lacking. And I will say this to the day that I die, I feel like makeup has given me so much. It really was that thing that gave me my confidence at a time where I felt really low, which is why I'm so passionate about beauty and so passionate about makeup. But once it started to get to a place where I didn't necessarily feel like that's all I had to bring to the table, I kind of started to change a lot of the things that I was doing more on like a day-to-day, like wearing a lot of makeup. And I mean that specifically when it comes to like me in front of a camera, doing my makeup and things like that. And I feel like it kind of put me in this weird place where I kind of felt like, okay, like where do I fit in now? And with trying to explore other types of content, whether it was fitness things, me in the gym, whether it was more like lifestyle fashion things, you know, I would be lying if I said that it isn't discouraging when certain things that you do or certain content that you push out isn't necessarily received in the way that you would like it to. And I was just kind of having a little bit of a hard time with that because I was just kind of like, okay, I'm trying to explore different things. I don't really feel like people are vibing it as much as I would like them to, or as much as I thought that they would. Instagram, we all know it's like its own, we already know it's not really giving what it used to give. The algorithm is horrible. All of these different things that play into feeling discouraged, right? And amongst all of that, losing management and kind of feeling like, well, where do I belong now? Like where in this space of social media do I fit in? Like what kind of content do people want to see? Like what kind of content do I want to make? What kind of content am I inspired by? It is a little scary trying to pivot and do something else, and it's not necessarily being received in the way that you think it is. When it comes to health and fitness, it's something that I'm really passionate about now for so many different reasons. It's done so much positive things for my mental health that I am really passionate. I would love to explore more in that avenue, but even with trying to do that now, like it really is its own beast. Like it really is its own world, its own bubble. I've met so many people that are like, you know, fitness influencers and fitness creators now, and it is intimidating because I don't look like them. I've made progress and I feel good, but I don't look like that. And you know, when I try to do certain things like that, it's not always received the way that I would want it to, or even like in the fashion world, or you know, all these different things outside of beauty. Essentially, it was kind of something that I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna just go to Miami for my birthday and I will just deal with all of this when I get back. There was a lot of people, a lot of my friends that were kind of like coming in and out of the city that I was like linking up with and going to dinner with, and clubs and boats and like all of these really fun things that I got to do. But I do feel like I was just kind of running away from having to face the reality of a lot of things that I felt were loose ends in my life that were pretty crucial, because we're talking about like my career. I came home. I actually flew from Miami to New York, and I was in New York for a week for work, and then I came home. Literally, I was gone all of July. I came home in August. And when I came home in August, I kind of again felt like myself spiraling into this like hole again of feeling like, okay, I was gone, I was partying and drinking and doing all of these things a little excessively, and all of the progress that I had worked for, all of the work that I had put in like right before my birthday, like I kind of felt like it was all erased. I really started to just like get down on myself about it and feeling super discouraged, and I wanted to specifically share that with you guys because I know that when it comes to health and fitness, there's a lot of times where we can fall off. The point is to get back on and to, you know, keep going and not letting the setback hold you down too long. It felt really weird to be back in LA, and I just kind of got this idea that I wanted to move, and that I wanted to move to Miami. And the reason that I wanted to move to Miami is because I, again, am just so drawn to the city. I felt like I could really picture myself there. I love the culture. I love everything about it. I told myself I'm gonna work towards moving to Miami. And I was under the impression that my lease at my current place was up in the springtime of next year. And literally after a week of me being back, after talking to a lot of my close friends about wanting to move, I get an email from the leasing office at my place, and they're like, hey, your lease is up for renewal. And I kind of was like, okay, like, is the world trying to tell me something? Like, is the universe trying to like push me towards like this move? And I kind of took it as a sign, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna go. And I gave my leasing office my 30 days, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna work towards this. I had like a plan that I had created in my mind. In the process of me trying to make that happen, I realized that there's still a lot of loose ends, and just like a lot of other things that I kind of felt like, okay, this isn't necessarily the time for me to make this kind of a move, but I did feel like I wanted some change. I just really wanted to feel like I was resetting a lot of things, because there were so many things changing around me, so many things happening, that I kind of felt like I was just kind of like in limbo in a lot of parts of my life. And I just kind of felt like I just wanted a fresh start. Also, like, my last place that I was in, it completely reminds me of so many different things and people and relationships, and just, I had been there for 4 years, you guys, and in those 4 years, the person that I was when I moved there versus the person that I am now that I moved out, like, it's a completely different person. I was just over being there. I was just over just kind of the energy that I felt being in that apartment. So I told myself, I'm gonna take this as an opportunity to give myself this reset. It's not in Miami. I know a lot of you guys thought it was like Miami or New York. It's not. It is something that I want to work towards, that I want to experience. I don't want to wake up one day in my 50s, my 60s, feeling like, damn, I didn't, do this, and I wanted to experience it and I didn't. So I ended up moving into another high-rise building in downtown Los Angeles. I love it so much, and I'm just really, really, really excited just to be in a new space and be in a place where I don't feel like I have tainted with other people's energy. I'm also just really trying to figure out, what's next for me as far as like me as Mac Daddy the influencer. I'm really excited to figure out what this next phase of that is, because again, like I said, I don't think it's what it used to be. I do want to be more transparent with you guys and be more honest with you guys and share more of my personal life with you guys, because I think that when it comes to social media, it's really easy for us to go on Instagram or YouTube, whatever platform you're on, and look at other people's lives and compare our lives to other people and feel a little discouraged because we are not where someone else is. And I just want you guys to know that, like, when it comes to social media, I always say, like, it's just all highlights. It's all the good things. It's all of the things that we want to share that make us look good. The reality of it is there is a lot of things that people that are, you know, really popular on social media that they deal with behind the scenes that aren't always positive things. And I feel like for me, it's been that constant battle of like going in and out of my cycles of feeling good about my health and fitness journey, but then feeling discouraged because I feel like I'm taking a couple of steps back. I'm really trying my best to have grace with myself. I'm also not trying to seek validation from people around me and validation from social media, which is hard to do. I'm just kind of a little exhausted by it. I'm a little kind of like, I don't know. What I can say is I am really excited about the things that I do have control over, like my brand. And I just want to thank you guys so much for always supporting me and supporting Artist Couture. Artist Couture is something that I built in 2014. It's been one of the hardest things I've ever done till this day. Being an entrepreneur, being a small business owner is not easy. There's a lot of ups and downs. When you're down, you're down, but when you're up, it feels so good and there's nothing like it. I am excited to kind of go back to my roots and go back to what inspired me to start makeup. If you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that I started off as a makeup artist. I was literally working at different brands, at a department store. I was freelancing, I was working with celebrities on production and like all these things, and I loved it so much. There's a collection coming very soon that really is going to show you guys what I mean by that. And we have, if you guys have been keeping up with my page, we have our Silky Lip Oil Restock happening. We're launching 4 new flavors as well. It's been like one of our literally biggest sellers. It's sold out 7 different times on artistcouture.com. It's sold out twice on Sephora.com. And it's just been such a blessing. And that's launching October 7th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on artistcouture.com, so make sure you guys don't miss it. There's just a lot of great things happening with my brand that I'm really excited to share with you guys. Also exploring different categories with my brand that aren't necessarily like beauty products that you guys will all know very soon. I think the overarching theme in all of this that I'm taking away is that nothing ever stays the same. And I think that that's something that I really was able to wrap my brain around this year, is that nothing stays the same and we have to be willing and open to evolve and adapt to change. And I mean that just kind of thinking back to my career, the things that I was passionate about, the things that I was doing at the start of my career versus where I'm at now. I'm not the same person as far as like the way that I feel about myself, even physically, the way that I look and the way that I choose to present myself to the world now, it's definitely not the same. And I think that when we're open to change, I think that that's when we continue climbing the ladder. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because I know that a lot of times we think that we have an idea of what we want, and whether it be a relationship or your career or passion projects, and then certain things happen that kind of force us to move into a different direction. You know what I mean? It's not always that we want to do certain things. Sometimes it's things around us that happen that force us to have this change. And I am trying my best to be optimistic about it. I'm excited about, I almost feel like I'm like rebranding myself to a certain extent. Like I feel like I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I'm being reborn. I don't necessarily know what it is right now. I'm trying to figure it out. And I hope that you guys will, you know, be here along that journey of me figuring it out, and I will share as much with you guys as I can. I'm really excited to share more with you guys about my place and getting it together and decorating it and just making it literally like my home. I feel like my last place, like it was my home, but I never really truly felt like it was like my home. I think it was because I never really finished furnishing it and making it what I want it to be. I think it's also like the fact that I had so many different like parties and people at my house and just like all of these different energies like in and out all the time. And like, I definitely don't want that for my new place now. I definitely want to make this like my sanctuary. I want this to be like my oasis, you know what I mean? Like my little safe space. I just want to thank you guys for being here. If you've been here since the beginning, my MAC days, thank you so much. If you're new here, thank you for being here. I think we're all just trying to do the best that we can when it comes to this thing called life and navigating it. And I hope that, you know, me sharing some of my experiences and the way that I deal with things and my perspective on things can help some of you guys out and encourage you guys to try to live a positive, optimistic life, because we only get one. And I think especially after everything that happened with COVID and the perspective that that gave us, I think it's really important for us to do things that make us feel good and do things that make us happy and do more of the things that really, really fill our souls, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I love you guys so much. I know that this was a long video. Also, shout out to Roadway for moving me into my new apartment. I'm really, really excited to share more of my new apartment with you guys because it is absolutely beautiful. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, Silky Lip Oil is launching October 7th, artistcouture.com. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.